So Danny, I know you're in London right now for a bunch of reasons. One of them is because I think you're looking to hire more people into your ABM team. Again, something we think a lot about is how is a good ABM'er different from a kind of classic marketeer, B2B marketeer, or what are the kind of dividing lines? And I'm keen to get your take on what are you looking for in terms of an ABM professional?
It's interesting because you do have to think about it differently when you're talking to people about, when you're interviewing. Are they a good communicator? Do they understand commerce? In other words, do they understand the sales cycle and how a salesperson thinks and the business side of things? So a lot of marketers are really creative, but at the end of the day, they can't communicate with a salesperson. And since a seller is so pertinent to the success of an ABM program, if you can't get the buy-in of the salesperson and get them on board, you're not going to be successful. So they have to be a good communicator, they have to be collaborative, they also have to be adaptable as well as resilient, because dealing with sales, you're going to get a straightforward, honest answer, and sometimes it's not going to be the answer you thought or wanted to hear, but when you hear it, you've got to be resilient enough to take it on board, make your adjustments, adapt to it, because at the end of the day, if you're not serving sales and the end customer, you're not doing ABM.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think there are kind of two particular things that we look for when we recruit, and one of them is actually that commercial nous, if you like, because actually our work, and I think ABM is all about trying to deliver commercial impact for a client, for an end customer. So you've got to have somebody who understands, as you're saying, sales cycles, an RFP process, that kind of background I think is fundamental. I think the second thing we look for is somebody who's not going to get blown over by sales with that kind of first pushback. Somebody who can be in a room or on a call with a salesperson and be taken seriously, can be seen as being, you know, a voice of authority and experience and will be listened to. I think without those things, again, ABM will kind of struggle to kind of get off the ground.
Absolutely.
And
collaboration is another big one, right?
Yeah.
You've got to be able to collaborate across the organization,
yeah.
within your own organization, because we don't create content. We pull content from a lot of other groups to create the assets that are going to tell the story we want to tell to our customer, but that requires the collaboration with not only sales, but across the organization.
Yeah. I think another thing we look for also is this sense that actually in ABM you're working at the kind of speed of sales. It's sometimes in marketing you get these quite leisurely cycles of activity, but in ABM it's often very short-term turnarounds because there's a meeting next week.
Right.
You want to have something for that meeting, so you've got to have people who basically are prepared to, you know, really pick up a piece of work and run with it and not stop until it's finished and in a salesperson's hands. So again, that for us is something that is really important, that, you know, that kind of, you know, the cliche is going the extra mile, but it's actually somebody who really kind of lives that total commitment to getting the job done in the time period that's allowed.
Yep,
yeah.
That's right.